Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Dr. Bird's Advice for Sad Poets. And this is a new drama, strange, stylish comedy from writer-director Yaniv Raz, who brings a story of a young man played by Lucas Jade Zuman, who had previously been in films like 20th Century Women, which I love that film. Love, love, love that film. And this young man in this film, James, is dealing with a lot of different kinds of anxiety. His sister has disappeared from his family. His mother has a very specific kind of bohemian attitude about things and really wants to be focusing on, like, she misses out on her dreams, and she's married to this guy who she calls the Brute, played by Jason Isaacs, who runs a sushi place. And James is making this connection with this young woman at school, played by Taylor Russell, who's so charming, absolutely charming, and I love her in this. I loved her in Waves. I loved her in The Words on Bathroom Walls. She's great. And the performances in this film are great. Everyone really delivers, even from, like, strange, small role for David Arquette as, like, this cult leader. Yeah, you heard that right. This is a weird movie. This film has layers in terms of dealing with this anxiety and coming to grips with it, and his family won't support him getting help, so he imagines a talking pigeon as his psychotherapist, voiced by Tom Wilkinson. Got a little strange Patriot reunion here between Jason Isaacs and Tom Wilkins. But this pigeon here is trying to give him advice, trying to help him process through things. Obviously imaginary, but you have a situation where it's like he's struggling with this. He's obviously dealing with issues. Stylistically, the film, with how they represent those times where he's dealing with those things, Raz does a nice job of really bringing a lot of personality and a flair to this film. Very stylish. And there's scenes where it's like him and Taylor Russell's character, Sophie, imagine them, or at least James imagines the two of them as, like, noir detectives trying to figure out this mystery of where his sister went, and where that's kind of the driving plot point, but there's so much of focusing on their budding relationship, him dealing with his family, and their toxic, really toxic relationship as a family. And you have all these different layers, and the thing is, Raz's screenplay only gives enough for each of them. And you have this film pushing like an hour and 50 minutes. There's some strange asides, like this whole cult thing. Spent a lot of time at this plays trying to get some laughs and physical comedy, and like having David Arquette in here. And you have all these different kinds of things bloating out this script and really glossing over the mental illness parts of this until towards the very end, where, yes, it tries to make some important statements about mental illness, but for most of the film it's kind of just treated as, there's nothing wrong. And obviously that they're trying to portray those perspectives on mental illness as a bad thing, but the film doesn't really dive into those themes or do them enough justice for it to really be meaningful by the end of the film when you do get some focus on it. And there's interesting characters, plenty of them in this film. They're quirky. Sophie is a little too perfect and, like, falls into that trope of, like, that really perfect girl, and this young man just wants to be with her, but it's not really working. And because it's like, she's so perfect. They try to do some things towards the end of the film to try to put an edge to her or show some flaws, but in the end it's just like she's too perfect. And not the only film, like YA film, young adult centered film that I've seen recently that had that same exact trope. And, you know, you throw in this thing, it's like, oh, they're flawed. It's just like, but are they? Not really. But in general, I feel like this film is balancing too many things, but it does give enough energy and enjoyable moments for it to click. at certain points with certain themes, with certain plot ideas. In the end, though, I think it's too much of a mixed bag for this to be something like I enjoyed and would want to watch again, but it gives enough for this hour and 50 minutes to be an enjoyable watch. But those are my thoughts on Dr. Bird's advice for sad poets. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.